Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
Young penny for baby say, if you are seeing her, will be ma to be check. Why not HL? So we'll pay IT, won't the 1 year, so we'll pay support. Slamm Technology say your #1 partner. Your office will US in here, your office will Ghana, so your numbers need to so we should share IT classes, we share career coaching, we share support for business, cyber security. Free, na your partner. Your back here, wow. Slamm Technologies, transformation with excellence. Free, baby,
This Airbnb in Dansoman Estates, Accra, is only $40 a day and offers all the amenities for a comfortable stay. It is also conveniently located 30 minutes away from the airport. We also have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments for long-term rental at Ingleshi, Amamprum, 15 minutes to the Webi Togo and the West Hills Mall, going for 1,500 and 1,000 Ghana cedis only. Call Parry Group on 053-866-3532, 053-866-3532. This is Parry Group of Companies.
All right, it was for more about SVTV Africa Social Live on SVTV Africa. We will be about and then Friday. Thank God it's Friday. It's Fridays. No. Many lawyer wisdom, aka wise man solicitor straight from the UK. About 2 weeks in Ghana. My lawyer over Ghana, and say shall cry for the lawyer. Say, hey, Anyami, I did town. But as I leave town, I checked into me by no. Yanum for say, Mashola for no visiting. One amone mashola for no. Omu free omu chenche sana. Omu nya chance nye soko. Iti lawyer buy no chance say, hey, welcome home. Owa shola few. Hello man no a 3D lawyer wisdom account. Boko there.
DJ Boko.
Mr. Muyepa, lawyer. Last week, let me know Kasa say, hey, oh town. And in your program, now say Yadam for no, Uja more crowd say, oh, welcome home visit. No, Mashola, I'm 3D. See, how we
said, yeah. Next time we buy, me want malaria drugs and
it don't actually change your crowd. Hey, Asa, we the you all day in we go. How about dear man? Make we buy time small.
the mosquitoes won't do me shaky. So
Yeah, it's you back Ghana. Why enjoy mosquitoes number one too?
Charlie, it was good. Charlie, home is home, man. Home is home. You wake up in the morning, you see your people, you walk out in the street, you see people, you talk, you say hi, you can stand by, say hi. You know, what to me, I mean, it's cool. What come well, you see people doing funny stuff, you know, you have a laugh. Charlie, come do cry, you can laugh, you know. So home is home.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. It was short, but it was good. It was good. I wish I could stay longer, but you know, you know, I mean, he can't stay too long. So
Ghana there Edo. And so
oh,
Nima free Ghana no bon so Ghana so there Ghana e kama.
Ghana is
Ghana.
cool. I like it. I love it. And the joy, the joy, the people have the asabia, the we feeling, the brotherhood. It's cool. It's cool. And um, you know, we do some places, the road networks are bad, but you see sometimes you see jam. Cars not come jam, you say no one is going, no one is coming. But somehow you also manage to maneuver and it's I mean, come on, it's home is home, man. Home is home.
Yo,
Wish I
lawyer
wish
Wisdom.
I wish Senka I'll come back home and be doing the programs from home.
Next time no be but next time no be nkoye yie bia because
Yeah.
ye no about twice.
Yes. See,
Next time na ye.
next time it will be on a happier note. Now we come, we spend time together. We go to the restaurant. We have time, just chill out, man. Life is too short to be, you know, wasting away. So
Call restaurant the ice mo no restaurant you know be call inquire there so call inquire the local base inquire there. No one say call restaurant there. I've never go use fork and knife. I don't dey say be wo mo yeah inquire the tim.
one man, are you one now?
Inquire no su eno na there no. Restaurant they akọbọ tie ni ade titi o se twitwa nam ni ade no no nya dia ye de ni local base.
I hear you. I hear you. I miss home. Charlie, home is good. Home is good.
Waba welcome back. Na
Thank you, bro.
unkro for de bia omo de bibi ba immigration mo de bia mo sesa mo nyama eden na abebo mu biom ai nsem wota unkro for isi
Wait there. DJ, Michio Bia, Michia, Ashefo, and Etiofo in Mijis Obia Moye. To send your kind of 2 weeks, and to me, and yet because now I had to attend a funeral and, of course, a whole lot of stuff. But thank God we are here. I'm back. Now, UK immigration laws, DJ Woodham said, they be SSA. I mean, yes, I fear say no. The changes every month or every other month, something is changing. And see, recently, there was a publication recently on the Home Office, not Home Office, the Home Office, of course, made some changes again. And on that basis, I want to just bring it out for us to examine and see what is going on. Now, first of all, here, EU4. So what worry EU near? It is expected so we're not for 5 years. And Sana, over to me, a year application for your indefinite leave to remain. Now, within that 5 years now, it is also expected say, so what to acquire? You shouldn't be out of the UK for more than 6 months. Because for more than 6 months, and actually say you have broken your continuous residence. In other words, you have not proved say what's now UK for 5 years for you to be eligible for the indefinite leave to remain. However, there are some instances say who pay for up to 1 year, due to childbirth, and now due to education or for medical reason, and no, so who pay for more than 6 months, that is up to 1 year, over to me, still no, and you're indefinite if you can prove that you've been in the UK for that period. When Omodi and society, but for me, it's a good change. It's a positive change. Now, change now, Omodi Abani because of the confusion surrounding going out for 6 months, going out for 12 months, and people have overstayed and people have not overstayed or have outstayed for longer, the only change is a basse. So within the 5 years, that is the 60 months, you have been in the UK for 30 months. any 30 months within the 5 years, you should still be able to get your indefinite leave to remain. Good change. In other words, if you can prove that you've been in the UK for half of the 5 years, which is the 30 months, and it can be an addition of any 30 months, you can prove that what's now UK have for that 30 months period, you should be able to get your indefinite leave to remain. So that is a good change. And no, this is Sabakwa Amodi Abba. And young EU4 and our family members of EU nationals, you have been on the 5 years, maybe I will here for more than 6 months or more than a year, and you have the problem of coming back, or you've come but you have the problem of getting your indefinite because someone who said you've been out for more than 1 year continuously, almost say, if you can prove that you've been in the UK for 60 months, out of the 60 months, you've been in the UK for 30 months, which is 2.5 years out of the 5 years, you should be able to get your indefinite leave to remain. Number 2, your corrections be on the private life concession be a buy, you know. Some people fall within this category. Number 1, sir, obi abakrom ha na watina krom ha for 7 years. And the age between 0 to 18 years. Watina ha for 7 years. Obatime application for 2.5 years. 2.5 years on the 10-year route, no. And see, abofane the age 3 years. And na ni mama ni di buy or buy no. Ni mama abeja no wa ha onu ko. Abofra no wo ni auntie ho ana ni uncle ho. Sa abofra no say odi 7 years wo krom ha. In other words, we just 10 years because we did 3 years and all buy. About na another 7 years into we did 10 years. About my application amano. Sa application if I'm 2.5 years. After the 2.5 years, it was another 2.5 years. It was supposed to be on the 10-year route. So now, so almost a sign Eddie by yourself, Abu Frasano, 1 year, 2.5, and another 2.5. And no dear, as a set your mano, indefinite leave. Instead, set over 10 years, no, almost about 5 years. But some people missed that concession. In other words, some people's time had gone past. Some people's time had gone past before the changes came. Now, only the corrections we have said, the people who missed those changes, the people who missed that concession should be able to apply for indefinitely if they can prove that they've been in the UK for 5 years continuously legally. The 5 years is different from the 7 years. The child has to be here for 7 years first before the first 2.5 years and another 2.5 years. So the 5 years is the child came, no visa, stayed in for 7 years, no visa. And then later they got leave of 2.5 years and another 2.5 years. In that case, 5 years legally, you can go for indefinite leave to remain for them. The people who have missed that cutoff point have now been introduced into it so that they can also apply for the indefinite, even if you missed that concession deadline. So that is one very, very good change as well. So more specific additional conditions, residence rule PL 15.1 have been introduced for children born in the UK who have been living in the UK continuously for 7 years. Now, let me go through this. A child born in the UK after 7 years continuous residence without or with permission can apply for settlement indefinitely straight away. Mamensi subium. Wa uban ewo krom ha. Or visa, oni asit no, ni papa was sit no, ni mami ni asit no. Once abufrana etina krom for 7 years now, you can go for indefinite leave to remain for that child straight away. So 7 years in the UK, you go for indefinite leave to remain for that child. 7 years, born in the UK, lived here for 7 years, apply for indefinite leave. There is no point in applying for 2.5 and 2.5. If the child was born here, and ya dia wodi abofra no betu kwan, enya dia okwa ye dwuma de sika aba, na ebeye sika wo be say kwa. Wodi application fee of almost £4,000 per child for all this period. Wodi application twice. £3,908.50. That is only a few pounds short of 4,000. We are it twice, you are paying almost 8,000. So what will ban waha? And yes, I would need to quite won't find in Kobe Bia. And near and Brani say, so we train copim time about friend 7 years. Over to me indefinite leave application at the Amano straight away. So that is one change that had taken place. Number 2, a child or young adult born outside the UK. The first one is born inside the UK. The second example is born outside the UK. Child not born in the UK with 7 years residence or young adult with half life in the UK needs to have leave on private life first, then can apply for settlement after they are in the private life for 5 years. So let me say it again. I have said it earlier, but I will say it again. The child was not born in the UK. You brought the child from Ghana to this country or from another country to this country. The child has lived in the UK for 7 years. The child must have 2.5 and 2.5 legally resident in the UK. That is 5 years on top of the 7 years. The child can go for indefinite leave to remain in the UK. That is also another change. Now, private life route for children eligible after 29th of July 2025. So that is for your information. Now, also, child born in the UK after they meet the continuous 7 years residence, that is at PL 15.1, with or without legal permission, can apply for indefinite leave immediately with their UK birth certificate and relevant documents, providing that it is not reasonable to expect the child to leave the UK. So, what will Bawaha? Only passport in Pua or birth certificate. A Chelasa won Okrumha. Within 7 years, over to my application for indefinite leave to remain for our family. So, Papa Nia Sitna, Sanibani Sitna pe. Wobetumi afa wo ba ne so na wodi anya asetna ama papa no ene maame no so nyina. So this is another change as well. There is a lot more, but let me just talk about one other one too. From the 16th of July 2025, Home Office has brought in some changes involving individuals excluded from international protection. Where application for asylum na yamfa amawa asylum or humanitarian protection na yamfa amawa almost say so application for phobia they should refuse you. So one has to be very careful when you are going for, or if you are going for asylum application, because if you are excluded and you are refused, you may find it difficult to switch to another category. So if you think asylum doesn't have a strong chance, you are advised not to go for it. So significant and consequential change has taken place in under Part 9. Under the new provisions, it will now be mandatory rather than discretionary for the Home Office to refuse an application for entry clearance, permission to enter, and permission to stay in cases involving individuals excluded from international protection in specific serious criminal or harmful conduct grounds. These changes can apply to individuals who have either already been excluded under Part 9. So, you made an asylum application, humanitarian protection, and because of some serious criminal convictions and etc., and you are refused, you will not be able to apply under another route. So please be careful before you commit yourself to these applications. That is one for you. So refugee convention applies in this case. Danger to the United Kingdom if you are assessed to be one. Again, another change in this set. Obi kura British passport. Na bibinti yagye British passport ne fin someone. Now so nipa na tina krom ha for maybe 20 years or longer. Na opesa offer sa 20 years ne so na onya na sit na foforo na Home Office for say once what that British passport so be for 10 years now. Sa 10 years now. Omo enkan enfanka 20 years long residence ne ho. Ma mensi subio. Minimo bia makan afa ne ho. Se oba krom ha no onya British passport. Senior offer so nya ye de menim. Otina krom ha or the passport need to kwan or the ejuma or the akwaba passport ni wu ye no na okwa akoye renewal na omo bisa ne se wo birth certificate e wo he wo papa den e wo he wo papa den e di den e den and it says that you were entitled to the British passport in the first place. So omo hear a lot of enquiries when to me amfa requirements na nko niam na omo bisa se onfa mbra no wanya amfa nko because birth certificate na odi application no kra no me name baby a onya fe eno nti sa nipa no omo amma no omo an renew the British passport no amma no. Now because omo renew the British passport amma nti abet say onia sitna and also okay me kra matna krom ha 24 years and imagine me 24 years now na me 20 years no so no now the application at least you have me 2.5 years and a Home Office for say from 29th of this month say uye obi sa na ukra British passport na ye jefi won sam no want to me enkan time na with that British passport ni so no emfa nka 20 years there no and from time I British passport ni fi won sam no that is the timer with 20 years no ever started accounting from. That is very, very, very harsh. It means that the time you were here with a British passport will not be counted as part of your 20 years long residence. Appendix long residence will be amended to allow individuals to count time in the UK. Will be amended to allow individuals to count time in the UK as British citizens towards 10-year lawful residence requirement under 3.1 and 11.1. However, they cannot count that towards the 20 years long residence. This change recognizes that some individuals may have held British citizenship for part of their residence part and subsequently lost it, either voluntarily or through official deprivation. However, an important distinction is drawn. The time spent as a British citizen will only count towards the long residence if the person voluntarily renounced their citizenship, but not where they have been subject to deprivation. In other words, if one them say British passport, a kwame file so edinya no enye kwampa enti ma renounce it munji moadie. In that case, say wono or 2.5 years no so you bet me account that period as part of your lawful residence. But say omuna omujifi won someone you cannot count that towards any residence in the UK. So that is very important. I'm sure this will affect a very small group of people, but it is still worth taking note of. Another very important change Omudi Abani said when he said yeah, English language test. Yeah, English language test. Now, yeah, application. We have A1, A2, B1, B2, etc., etc. Home Office for say would the English language certificate at the application there? Ubati me assign the certificate now, so at the subsequent application. In here, say, Ubasaya acquire another one before you proceed to the next level. So that is also a good thing. So effective from the 16th of July 2025, applicants will now be permitted to reuse. You can use again the English language certificate that was used in a previous application, in a successful application, regardless of the route under which it was originally submitted. This amendment brings the immigration rules in line with existing caseworker guidance. So very important, because caseworker guidance, Nick has said, you can still use the same application, the same certificate. But the rules, Nick has said you could not. So now they've joined the two to be the same, that you can still use the same certificate. If you've used it before in a successful application, you can use it again in a subsequent application. So that is also a very good change. Then there was one major change. A lot of people are confused about. That change is said. They made a change to part 8. And part 8, Honomu can say, Ubaye, with a skilled worker, or let's say on a point-based system. Point-based system. What's an panel? Sir, a relationship na go now person will be fulfilled. I want to me and worry. But we shall. Part 8 is an old law, and therefore it means that that change they made to part 8 will not apply to Appendix FM cases. And to say, application as a spouse, you want to move from the point-based to the spouse route, you are still able to go ahead and make the application. But you should be ready that, say, refuse here, you can take the case to court. And also, take note, say, Home Office, now saying, almost time account, almost me for interview. Almost me say, now who will say, my more relationship? And if I say you are in a relationship, I say, now WhatsApp messages, text messages, pictures, visits. Northampton and Southampton, also Plymouth. How do you visit each other? What shows say you meet each other? Where's the ticket from Plymouth to Southampton? What is the email evidence? WhatsApp messages? What things are you using to show that there is truly a genuine relationship between you and your partner? So these things can be demanded to support the fact that it's a genuine relationship. But I'm bet me for interview. So DJ, Usha, these are some of the changes almost saying a diabebium. I can bet you, sir, in the next few months, something new will come again. Before the end of the year, something else will come again. So as soon as we receive any new information, we will let you have it. But and then these are some of the changes. You've heard it, but I just thought I should go over this for you to know exactly where we stand. DJ, I have a topic to talk about, but I can take questions as well, so that in the next 30 minutes or so, we can wrap it up for the listeners. Thank you very much, DJ Nyami.
All right, Lawyer Wisdom Akaoye, that's it. Say all the updates we bring. Oh, share live on SVTV Africa on your YouTube page now. Many Lawyer Wisdom Akaoye, so as soon as you're streaming live on TikTok. Oh, share, subscribe to your channel. Follow you every Fridays. Be a many Lawyer Wisdom Akaoye has say. Or the updates bring. You can come on here, or a champion man, a lawyer pa, solicitor, heavy one pa. Into on our London no. Every Fridays, be a many program was it's all share live. I mean, questions be about lawyer. I hope I saw a question. So be sana. Oko a YouTube, a comment section. What type of TikTok? Oh, TikTok the muntie ni oka. Aye. Oh, but hope I saw join here. Oko a profile page in the so our TikTok. Ubon YouTube no boss wa. Be the same page. Ubon na or comments or questions be obese obi sana. Comment section in the better or na wakayama munti. Me a few questions about lawyer. Why ready? I'm found to two on squad na bapa. I'm found to two on and over to you. First one or sit down.
Well, no, hello, Nana Bafo. I hope you're doing well, my brother. Right. I'll say good evening, good evening. My question is about EU settlement. My daughter is an EU dependent she is in the UK for 36 months now. Can I apply for settlement for her? Now, you would have to show that she's been in the UK for 5 years. Now, again, no, Pacho, other children have indefinitely post 2020. Can I apply for UK passport for them? Okay. DJ, let me go back to the other question. All right. I'll say good evening. My question is, my daughter is an EU dependent that is on you. She's in the UK for 36 months now. Can I apply for settlement for her? Because she is more than 21 years, she has to be in the UK for 5 years. She has to be in the UK for 5 years. I mentioned about 30 months. The 30 months means assuming that she travel in and out, but she can show that she's been in the UK for 30 months out of the 5 years, then you can apply for indefinite. But she has to do the 5 years before she can go for the indefinite. If she's more than 21 years, then she has to do the 5 years. And the second part is the children have indefinite. Because their mother does not have indefinite and she's not going for British citizenship, with the children at the same time, it is likely they will refuse the application under Section 3(1) of the British Nationality Act of 1981 because the mother is not settled and she is not applying at the same time with the children. It is discretionary. If they like, they'll give it to you. They give it to them. If they like, they refuse it. I would advise that we wait. If the mother gets the indefinite, and she waits for 1 year and she's going for her British citizenship, then she will do the application together with that of the children. Then they have a better chance of getting it. You can do it, but it's likely they will refuse the application. They may get it, but it's a 50-50 deal. Okay, thank you. Then Quincy, thank you. I would like to know if those on graduate visa cannot apply for care workers visa after July 2022. There is nothing, I have not seen anything which says that those on graduate visa cannot switch to the care visa. I haven't seen anything. If you have, you can let me know, but I think they still can. Nothing shows they cannot. And therefore, if you have a sponsor and the sponsor gives you the COS, please, you can switch to the care visa in the UK and you should be fine. Quincy has a second question. If you're on a skilled worker visa for less than 5 years by July 2022, will the 10-year rule for indefinite leave affect you? I haven't seen anything as such. So we assume that you are still on the 5 years route. I would have to go back and do my checks, but I haven't seen anything. If you've seen anything, let me have it. But it appears you are still on the 5-year route. So the changes from 22nd of July do not seem to affect people who are on the 5-year route as skilled workers. Black, hello. Can you ask this for me? Yes. Please, can a mother on skilled worker be able to put her newly born baby and the illegal or undocumented father be put on the wife's document as dependent father? Two questions in one. The first one is the newborn baby. Yes, the newborn baby can be put on the mother's skilled worker route because the child, I believe, was born in the UK. You can apply for the child here in the UK. That shouldn't be a problem. But the father, because the father does not have leave to be in the UK, if you want to make an application for him, it will have to be outside of the rules. That is going to be an application outside of the rules. HRO, FLRHRO. Further leave to remain, human rights, outside of the rules or on other routes. It is possible, but it is again not guaranteed. Remember, the mother is not settled. she is still on limited leave as a skilled worker. And therefore, the child will also be given the limited leave just as the mother. So the father who doesn't have the leave to be in the UK, if he makes an application based on the child who also has limited leave, it is not a very strong connection in terms of immigration stability. And therefore, my advice would be, if the mother is close to her 5 years, she should work towards the 5 years. Once she gets her indefinite, the child will be registered as a British citizen. Once the child is registered as a British citizen, automatically the father can then make his application based on the child that is a British citizen, on the basis that he meets the requirement under Appendix FM, section leave to remain as a parent, and apply the EX1, exception 1, that is, the child is a British citizen, the child is under 18 years. It will be unreasonable for the child to leave the UK with the dad, and of course the child is in the UK. That is a stronger option. The other one, the child will have what the mother has. The father can apply, but it is not guaranteed that he'll be given outside of the rules. That will be my response to this for you. Thank you. Thank you. 20 years private land route for adults. Any changes? Kwame Kusi, no changes. We pray that nothing should change, because if it changes, why are they taking it to 100 years? Then we'll all be finished though. So thank God, no changes to that as we speak. J. Camo, hi. Can I use my NI contribution downloaded from gov.uk to prove my evidence of residency if I have not been working because I was the main carer of my child who has medical issues? Yes, if it depends on the application you want to make. Set evidence, and about me print from the HMRC site. Of course, you can use that as proof of residence, because you are not able to prove that you are actually you are making contributions or anything like that. So therefore, yes, you can use it as evidence. Better still, if you want, you can call the HMRC, and ask for your employment history or your national insurance contribution history. They'll send all of that to you, and you can again use that as proof of residence in the UK. Okay, thank you. All right, so Prince Kofi, please, can I retain my rights when I'm still in relationship with my EU partner? Well, if you are still in a relationship and there is evidence of domestic abuse, then yes, you can still argue that on retained right of residence. Or if you are in custody of a child of the EU national, yes, you can also go on that basis of retained right. But the most popular option for the retained right is if there is a divorce. So if you are still in a relationship, it is possible, if you are in custody of the child, or if there is a domestic abuse issue, you could go that route. Otherwise, you have to go as a person who is still a family member of an EU national over the relevant period of 5 years. Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, Abdul Aziz Baba, I hope you're doing good. What happens to those with pre-settled status after its expiry date? Will there be any extensions? Now, if you have pre-settled status and the date has run out on the card, I would advise that once you hit 5 years, please go for your indefinite leave to remain if all the other requirements are satisfied. Go for your indefinite leave to remain if all the other requirements are satisfied. Example, you've been married, your wife has been in the UK for 5 years, there is evidence that she's got the indefinite leave to remain, they've got a settled status, everything is there. You have evidence of residing in the UK for 5 years, you have P60s, you have bank statements, you have pay slips, you have letters from maybe a church or the GP or anything to prove that you've been in the UK for 5 years, then certainly go for your indefinite. Don't wait for the Home Office to automatically give you your indefinite. You might not be that lucky. So I would say if you're 5 years, please go for your indefinite leave to remain. If you can't do it, speak to a lawyer. They would assist you. Or go to Citizens Advice Bureau. If you don't have money to contract the service of a lawyer, go to Citizens Advice. They'll help you free of charge and you'll be able to get your stay. J. Anoche. Hello. As a British spouse dependent, what English test do I need to get my indefinite? I currently have a B1 test certificate which I use for my application. Yes. So once you have your B1, you can use it again. You can use it again based on the changes that they are introducing. You can use the B1 test certificate again for your indefinite leave application. But remember, you have to do the life in the UK as well. So do the life in the UK and attach it to the B1 and go for your indefinite leave to remain. My wife beats me. Is it mandatory to get your 2-year stay through your British spouse who meets the income? Hi, lawyer. Is it mandatory to get your 2-year stay through your British spouse who meets the income? This is because our kids have British citizenship too, and I am from an ETA country. The question is not very clear. You read from British spouse who meet the income, I don't understand that one. So please send me the question again. I'm sure I'll be able to answer you properly. Thank you. Kwame, hello, mister. I am a British citizen now and I'm planning to go to Ghana soon. Please, how can I travel with both? How can I travel with both Ghana and British passport? Which of the passports should I present at Heathrow? They would need to see if you go for a visa in your British passport, then you only need to show your British passport. Let me say it again. If you go for visa in your British passport, then you only need to show your British passport. I will say the third time. If you go for visa in your British passport, you only need to show your British passport. But if you do not go for visa or you decide not to go for a visa and you want to travel with an empty British passport, then you need to show your British passport and your Ghana card or your Ghana passport before they will allow you to get on the plane, before they will check you in. You need your British passport, you need your Ghana passport before you can go out. And when you are coming back, you show your Ghana passport if you didn't go for a visa, and then you'll be allowed to come back in. Your Ghana passport and your British passport, and you'll be allowed to come back in to the UK. So both passports are good, but it depends on which way you want to use it. Visa in your British passport, no need to show your Ghana passport or biometric card. But when you get to Ghana, they'll tell you to produce tuberculosis certificate. Is it yellow fever or something? They mention something. They mention some stuff. Yellow fever certificate. Then you can produce your Ghana passport and show it to them, and then they'll tell you to work. You are free. But if not, they will demand some fee from you before they prepare your yellow fever something for you. Okay. Daniel Boateng, Mr. Hi. Good evening. Good evening. Haven't been in the UK since 2023 on a care visa as dependent. My employer does not have job anymore and have asked us to look for a switch elsewhere. Else our records will be sent to the Home Office. Well, you are very fortunate that your employer has told you this, because some employers don't even tell their employees. They just report to the Home Office that then they cancel their COS or they cancel their leave. But if your employer has informed you, that they don't have work for you and therefore look for another job or switch, then you should say thank you and quickly, consciously, intentionally look for another job and switch to that route. That is the best thing I think can happen to you, is to look for another switch. Sam O. Hi, Samo. If you're on a skilled worker visa as a carer, can you file for your partner or children in UK as dependents? Of course, if they came with you, then of course, no, you are here, you are skilled. Yes, if they came with you, then anytime you are applying, you have to apply with them. But if you are here now and you want to bring them, it is still possible if you came before the rules changed on the 11th of March. If you came in before the rules changed, then yes, you are still able to bring them in. But if you came in after the rules changed, you cannot bring them in, especially if you are on those codes. I've mentioned some codes here before. SOC 2020 6135, SOC 2020 6136, SOC 2010 6145, SOC 2010 6146. If you are on any of these four codes, you cannot bring your dependents. But if you came in before the laws changed and you are on any of these codes, you can still bring your dependents because you were here before the laws changed. So yes, it depends on which side of the rules you are on, and that will help us know exactly what to do. What opinion do I have since I don't have this? Okay, sorry, not opinion, but option. Thank you, Daniel Boateng, Papa. Sorry. What option do I have since I don't have the switch? And that means to get it, who should renew our next? Well, you would have to search for one. I think 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, we discussed the option of switching to prison workers. People are switching because they are getting jobs with the prison services. His Majesty's Prisons Service. They are recruiting. So if you liaise with them, they do their interview, you pass the test, you pass the interviews, and you pass all that you have to go through, you are able to get a job with the prison service, and they will switch you because they will give you sponsorship. You can switch to them. So if you haven't tried that, please try that option. You may be fortunate to move to that side. Go to prisonjobs.com, .gov.uk or HMR's, His Majesty's Prisons, HMP, and then enter jobs. It will come up with some. I did it for somebody today. In fact, I Googled for somebody today and showed him what to do. So you can do the same thing for yourself. I'm sure you'll be fine. QT. Please, is there any priority or super priority for bringing my child under 18 from Ghana? Yes, there can be, depending on the route on which you are. Now, if you are on the 2.5 years leave as a partner or as a parent, you can do the priority. That is additional £500 for your child. If you are on the EU route as a family member of an EU national, they don't have any priority. you have to go through the normal stages to get your child here, the normal route. That can be 3 months or so to bring your child here. There are other options. Again, if it's like, of course, bringing your children here, it depends again on the route on which you are. You may be able to get a super priority or the priority for the child to come. We have only one option. We have only the priority, which is the £500 extra, and then they make a decision within 15 working days. That is 3 weeks instead of 3 months. You get a quick decision. Thank you. Mr. Stephen Frimpong, please, I'm a dependent and I want to switch to another COS now. Is it possible? Yes. If you can get a new COS, a new sponsor that has a job for you, and they have the sponsorship license and can issue you the COS, yes, you can switch to another sponsor. It is possible, but ensure that it is a job that you can, the category that you can switch into. You can switch into it, but if it has to do with your family, your dependents, if you are on any of these schools, then you may not be able to. But right now, I think yours is the most important one. Yes, you can switch if you get a sponsor. Citrus appear. Hi. Hello, can someone on 5 years family route get indefinite leave to remain in the UK after 30 months? Is there any truth in this? Now, the 5 years we are talking about is EU family route. EU family route. You can only get indefinite after you've done the 5 years. You cannot get indefinite after the 30 months. So I am sure I haven't confused you by what I said earlier. So let me explain it again. Assuming that I am an EU national and my wife joins me here as my family member. Now, my wife has been in the UK, but she travels in and out. She travels out and comes in, out and in. Now, there have been times that she traveled and she stays in Ghana for maybe up to 1.5 years. Under the old regime, because she's been out for more than 6 months, it will affect her indefinitely. The changes they are bringing in is that even if she has been out for more than 6 months or even more than a year, but she can prove that she's been in the UK for 30 months, different months, 30 together, then she can still go for indefinite after the 5 years is up. So within the 5 years, within the 60 months, you have to show that you have been in the UK for 30 months. You can't do 30 months alone and go for indefinite. You have to do the 60 months, but show that even though I traveled outside, I have still been here for 30 months before you can go for the indefinite leave to remain. You can't go for indefinite only after 60 months, after 30 months, if you haven't been here for the 5 years. I hope I have clarified that confusion. Thank you. Opoku Buama. I am on a student visa at the moment, but my dad is a UK citizen. Is there any way he can use his status to help me switch to depend on his status after my studies? Unfortunately, no. You are an adult, that is one, and your dad is, you haven't indicated if he's got a medical condition and you are the only person looking after him, taking his medication, bringing him from the hospital, taking him to the GP and everything. There is a case called the case of Ugapas. If you can prove that your father is dependent on you for all his movements and everything, that is a different matter. Because of his medical condition, he cannot do anything. You do everything for him. Then that is a different argument. But if that is not the case, unfortunately, Daddy cannot help you in this particular instance. Mr. Buama. Adole adotete. I am on a skilled worker visa, will be 5 years in 2026, and apply for indefinite leave to remain. Will my children also qualify for indefinite leave to remain the same time as me? Well, of course, if your children came with you and they've also been with you for the whole period, then of course they would also qualify for indefinite leave the same time as you. But if the children came after you, then there may be the argument that they have to do a top up to make the 5 years before they go for indefinite. But of course, there is a gray area I'm trying to explore to see how it will really work out. So you can call me next week, and then maybe I can discuss the law with you as to what it applies, as to how it applies to children. For your partner, yes, 5 years. For the children, it's a bit silent, but we'll be able to work it out. But I believe that, yes, they also have to be on your stay and go for indefinite leave at the same time as you, if they've been in the UK with you from the start to that. Elijah Campbell, what documents are required to prove 5 years continuous residence for naturalization application? 5 years continuous residence for naturalization documentations are: 1, if you have P60s, you can use 5 P60s. The P60 is a summary of the work you've done for the whole year. So if you have been here for the year, that indicates that, of course, you have, if you can prove 5 P60s, it means you've been here working for 5 years. You can also provide your bank statements, pay slips, letters from your employer, gas, water, electricity, TV licenses, insurance documents, and all these additional documents you can think of. You can use those to support the fact that you've been in the UK for 5 years. Thank you very, very much. Hi, Julius. Is it easy? Hi, is it easy to come and work in the UK as a skilled worker with 20 years and 1 year experience as a forklift operator? It is not easy, but it is possible if you can get a sponsor. I will say it again. It is not easy, but it is not impossible. It is possible if you can get a sponsor in this category. Maybe they need specialist operator and the company has sponsorship license, then they can, of course, employ you. They give you certificate of sponsorship. They have sponsorship license. They get the COS certificate of sponsorship. You can come and work with them. It's possible. Please, if my employer doesn't have any job, can they renew my next visa? That's the second. That's the second 3 years after the first. Well, the employer will have to prove to the Home Office that they still have work for you. They will still have to issue you a new COS. If the employer is willing to issue you a new COS and prove to the employer that, and prove to the Home Office that, yes, they still need your services, of course, you can apply with that. But the only problem is if the Home Office comes to ask for some documents to support the application. Example, they want evidence of your P60, evidence of your bank statement, evidence of your monies that have been paid to your pay slips and stuff. Then that may be a problem if you can't produce it. But of course, it's up to the employer to see if they want to still issue you a new COS to go for a renewal or an extension. It's purely down to the employer. Thank you. Abdullah Ado again. Good evening. I'll be 5 years in 2020, then due for my children. Yes, I think I've dealt with this one already. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. I think it's a new question. I'm so sorry. Let me go to that one. It says, my children qualify for indefinite at the same time as me, as they are 1 year, 1 month in the UK. Okay, my spouse will be 3 years. When can he qualify? He has to do the 5 years. Your spouse will have to do the 5 years. It clearly states as such. The children, I read the rule the last time. I haven't seen the 5 years for the children. That is why I said there's a gray area I need to explore. So yes, the children may or may not. Let me go back to the rules. Call me. I will discuss that with you. But your husband will have to be here for 5 years before he will be eligible for the indefinite leave to remain. Thank you. Baby Cobra. As a British citizen, can you apply for your parents to stay in the UK while on a 6-month visit visa, or have to make the application in Ghana? Thank you. They would have to make it from outside, not from inside the UK. With medical conditions, sorry, the message wasn't typed together. That's okay. Yes, so your parents are in the UK, they have medical condition, they are here on a visit visa, and you want to know if you can apply for them to stay, or if they have to go out and apply to come back to the UK. The law is that they will have to apply from outside the UK, not in the UK. That is what the law says. Now, my problem is this. If you apply for them here and they don't give it to them, and they finally leave the UK, they may not be able to come back because they would have overstayed their visit visa. And once they overstay their visit visa, it is very likely they will be refused if they go for a renewal. That is my only concern. Otherwise, if there's a very strong medical reason, very strong grounds, you can apply, but it's not a strong position. It's 50-50. They can be refused, they may be granted. So the decision is for you to make. I was trying to ask, will the Home Office not question my attempt to get my 2.5 years stay through our case instead of my spouse because she doesn't meet the income requirement? Thanks from Studio B. All right. Will the Home Office not question my attempt to get my 2.5 years through my case? There is nothing wrong with the Home Office with you applying to your kids. If your kids are British citizens, there's no problem. If your kids are settled, they have indefinite leave to remain, there's no problem. If your kids are 7 years old and above, there is no problem. As long as you can prove that maybe you are living separate from the children and the kids and their mother, and there is a genuine and subsistent relationship between you and your children, you can still apply. Let me give you an example. I know a situation where the woman brought the man to the UK. They had 2 children. Relationship broke down. The woman sacked the man out of the house. The man ran to me for an application. Because the children are British citizens, I made an application to switch the man from the partner, from his wife to his children. Okay? He was originally on his wife's visa, or the wife was the sponsor. But because the relationship broke down, but he still had access to his children, I switched him from his wife to his children on the 5-year route. So he did first 2.5 years as a parent, a second 2.5 years as a parent, and he got his indefinite leave to remain, not based on his wife, but based on his children. But in that case, the relationship had broken down. They had separated. They were not living under the same roof. We were able to do it for him. So I don't see why it should be a problem if you are doing it based on your children who are settled British or they have 7 years in the UK. Prophetic Ministry Hub. Hi. I was refused asylum and I recently met my unmarried partner for 7 months. Is it possible to make application even though I was refused asylum application? Well, do you have a child with your partner? Does she have a child in the UK? Are you involved in the child's life? Do you take the child to school? Do you bring the child from school? Do you take the child to GP? Do they know you? Will they give you a letter? Is there any evidence to show that you live in the same address with your partner? Is there anything to show that there's a genuine and subsistent relationship? You have pictures and everything to prove that there is a genuine and subsistent relationship. If that is the case, then I would advise that yes, you make an application after you've married, because you haven't lived together for 2 years and therefore you cannot go on the unmarried partner route. If you marry, you can apply. If you are not married, you are required to be in a relationship for 2 years, not 7 months. That will be my response to your question. Mr. David Nimaku. Any advice on how to bring 50-year-old before he turns 18 as a British passport holder? Yes, of course. If you're a British passport holder, you can make an application under paragraph 297 of the immigration rules for your child to come to the UK, and the child will come with indefinite leave to enter. It's quite a complex application because you need to prove that you have something we call sole responsibility, that the child's mother is not involved in the child's life, especially if the child's mother is in the same country with the child. You need to prove a lot to show that you are the only person that is responsible entirely, completely, and absolutely for the child. The schooling, medical needs, clothing, feeding, I said fooding, clothing, school, medical needs, feeding, etc., etc., etc. If you can provide this evidence with letters from the hospital and etc., you are able to bring your child to the UK if you can prove that you have sole responsibility for the child. You can come with, we can apply for the child to come with indefinite leave to remain. On the other hand, if you had your British passport, your British citizenship, before the child was born, then we can apply for the British passport for the child straight away. Let me say that again. If you had your British passport before the child was born outside the UK, we are able to apply for the British passport for the child to come. This time it's not a visa application, it's British passport application that can be done for the child to join you here as well. Thank you. Felicity Day Essa. Hello, Sister Essa. Can a child who came with his parents on a school visa stay with the auntie, that's the mom's sister, since the parents have not really settled? Oh, you mean the child to live with the auntie? There's nothing wrong with that. If it's a family arrangement that the child should live with the auntie takes the child to school and looks after the child, there's not a problem with that. The parents are not settled, so yeah, auntie can help. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Yes? There is no rule which says that family cannot live with family. Nieces cannot live with aunties, or nephews cannot live with aunties. I haven't seen anything like that, and I don't think there's anything like that. Abdul Aziz, Baba. What if your stay has not been consistent for 5 years? What happens to your pre-settled status? Well, if you've been given the 5 years pre-settled status and you've been in the UK in and out, but you can prove the 30 months, as I said, you should still be able to go for your indefinite after the 5 years is up. So if you mean it's not been consistent, it means you've been in and out. Yes, but just make sure that you have proved that you've lived in the UK for 5 years, and out of that 5 years, you have lived in the UK for 30 months. Out of the 5 years, prove that you've been in the UK for 30 months, and you should be fine. David Nimaku, DJ, we should be wrapping up. David Nimaku, any advice on how long to bring my 15 years old before it? Yes, I think I've looked at that. Yes. Again, if you're a British passport holder, you can apply for the child to come under paragraph 297. If you are British passport holder before the child was born, we apply for British passport for the child. Hi, is it Dinah? Okay, or Dina? Can I apply for indefinitely based on Zambrano? Yes, 100% yes. If you've done the 5 years, I've done it for lots of people. We have to request for the form from the Home Office. We complete it, we send it off. It should be fine. It should be fine.
Lawyer Wisdom Makao, Wise Man Solicitors, that's it. And Friday, and the Abegu. But yeah, na me who say, Ebiana minim say, in Crofoni be ha, on say, ye program in there. Obenya new faces. I say, Nemrawa ha, all the comments bar. For type back up, me who say, ebi mutimi repeat say any say ebia yehu and I said line by line one question prophetic ministry then we repeat it 10 aden esa na o confuse abon say ebe hye wo do question ba to bo say follow up bi wo ha but one question one question we repeat it be 10 aden bra
channel next time one you
other o type here o de o type what o de ato e be kan but enemy who another one so I repeat it esa na adoso wadoso dodo aha nti o de question ba ye be sere o de ato won e den a lawyer be kan ama anyway lawyer wisdom akao ne number na that screen is on wise man solicitors ubetimi a contact no office line ni mobile line lawyer me da say so buy office location Dawson Junction London then the print house
Dawson Market near Dawson Market Dawson Junction near Dawson Market
yeah my address my location office location no enti
yeah what London Dawson Junction near the Dawson Market the popular Dawson Market we do Dawson Market beside a McDonald's ne wo we do McDonald's now a pan be that McDonald's name change small road be Appian way be we do what over print house far right motor for paki or delivery we do what we far right now no turning left that is my building yeah number 18 to 22 Ashwin Street 18 to 22 Ashwin Street 8 to 9 the print house Dalston London E8 3DL E8 3 Delta Lima. That's the postcode. Telephone numbers. Office number is 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. Mobile number is 079 31 411 042. 079 31 411 042. And no any your contact details. Friend, book, come. Now information be what ya di be ma. And 70 be what we back a higher kwan but over fear na it me I discuss it. That some of the questions when you ask online, I'm sorry, but I can't respond. Ubani etnasia na madane law na ma ni a king ni a share bibia be ye e betimi dia fa e be ye yi a ye be ma ho enye yi nso a we will let you know. So that is it. Wise Man Solicitors. Thank you. DJ Nyame obi e ka kire me bibi about you or say
then already go concern
Baby, where kokonsa papa enye kokonsa. This is a good kokonsa. Oh, that party. I know I'm on me with that tema. Charlie, the guy the force farm, the force give a man for so it makes sake of this program. If it gets in things, if it gets in family then things. Or can pigeon be and I said, I know DJ Nyame. He's doing it to benefit our people. So papa. So it's a good. So thank you very much for the good job you are doing to help our people. DJ.
Yes, we try your best. I didn't get links in one day and the everyday via I mean, minimum mean Kyle Mupobo to me for Nyame. You help me, oh, hey, my link be. Hey, okay. So far as associating and no one know. So far as the old no can and no one know. Until you has a then anything I make a chairman for say, oh, show me programs, sir. Oh, show me programs, pa. Charlie. So be the boo pa say I could see a connection you do sick. No. Social media lawyer programs I mean no I from there 3-4 years. So obi mu kwa kan online say through a program so you cry no all my applications mama come your visa mama e me no because so last time e program we be kan
Obi kan e
do so education near there, Gulf countries ni be near there. Bebre,
a lot. Yeah,
so
Bakubia Otie, not over Germany, Oni Krata, Oni Asitna. So he listened. And to your friend, every time he said, what can he do? Nani Jiriwa, because Oni Asitna, want to me Germany and backroom her. Because I mean, UK, you can apply. And to Obisami, should I apply? Should I come? What should I do? And I say, look, you have to go back to Ghana. But train me your application I could do, baby. But man submit it. Oko Ghana. Me money on your band communication. Quack. WhatsApp messages, phone calls. I made Germany. There's to come. Ha, editum. But that's a lawyer. Thank you. Through DJ Yami program. I say, yeah, that's what we do. We just do to help our people. That's it, really. I mean,
that's
that's
lawyer,
it.
would you out that say some joining here and then one will join here live on YouTube. Madam, I say every Fridays be a menino I'll follow and I'll subscribe ya ubo who say menino be an any be an about TikTok. It's also more TikTok there. Follow ya if you want to know more about SVTV Africa ko YouTube channel. Now start it, subscribe now follow. Now share your videos, no make it sure so feature videos na. Me say obi antimi because information is now unim. People go pay some connection might be music and then to not to any idea. Some basic things need the ink for. Tell me how you see idea wa been too futuro ngwe me the all no me catch up. Me see the be information is very important. Bibia mo na information no bebre na any nyina online. Ta utobo so obehwehwa obehu. But tie programs this year utie man for experience so tie sana. You know what I say. So Madam Asi some share TikTok for Madam Asi me signing out to TikTok, YouTube for mama joining me class and then big shout out to mo Madam Asi some joining here and I mean to me my shout out to squad Dawson. Pa James me I saw joining here Augustine, thank you so much. My wife beats me, thank you so much. Stephen Frimpong, thank you so much. Prophetic Ministry, thank you so much. Dina, thank you so much. Felicity Medase. Daniel Boateng, thank you so much for joining. Macon David, thank you so much. Prince Medase. Abdul Aziz, thank you so much for joining. Baby Cobra, thank you so much for joining here. Say prophetic message this doso the Daniel Bacha, thank you so much. Adole Ado, thank you so much. Say me screw prophetic in no 1,000 messages. Julius, thank you so much for joining. Elijah Campbell, thank you so much. So join a class nene. Friend a class. Opoku Buama, thank you so much. Is this a citrus appear? Thank you so much for joining. Stephen Frimpong, thank you so much. Cutie. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. J Camo, big ups. Sam Q, thank you so much. Kwame Date, thank you so much. Kwame Date, thank you so much for joining. Gino Music, big ups. Nanayao, Bafo, thank you so much. So join the class then. FJ Anoche Medase. So join Prince Kofi Medase. Kwame Kusi Medase. So join Black. Thank you so much. Queenie, thank you. Kwesi Chere, thank you so much for joining. Nanayao, okay. Nanayao, Bafo Mabodi in the Anthony, thank you so much for joining. Queen Equia, that's it. Richard, thank you so much. Salome, Kwe, thank you so much for joining. Thanksgiving born. Thank you so much. Tony Adams, Lucky Charm, thank you so much. Master, me da say. Mo join the class na nya me da ma say. Mo subscribe to your channel na mo follow on all social media and SVTV Africa. Mo share videos. And I mean D crime. Yeah, interview mo share ya kona ko tie vibe in the pa. Oh US I mean near interview. Mo tie vibe. Vibe day. On the anytime they be saying if I can show top there, the vibe be different. In my ear there. It's there. The vibe be different. It's mo share me D crime. Mon share me ne if anything or Japan Raymond Japan and also videos in the also choose who follow here you see Kofi Apia me da say Bright Boateng Benson, thank you so much. Someone join here. Big shout out to you to follow SVTV Africa and I'm on subscribe to your channel. I'm on share videos na be. Why? Shamu Kruma, then I'll become. And so many so I respond, you will feel that. Shamu Kruma, then I'll become. Cassette then. Two.
Hi there, my name is Calipos, the only boss with one S. Happy new month to all of you. Welcome to a month of new possibilities. Why life has been made so easy? It's because of TapTapSend. People, TapTapSend is here to make your life easy if you want to transfer money to Ghana, if you want to transfer from USA, if you want to transfer from UK, Europe, Canada, a lot of places all to Ghana. And guess what? When it comes to Ghana, there's no e-levy charge. So, what are you waiting for? Download TapTapSend on Google Play Store and App Store and be ready for exciting offers coming your way each time, every time on TapTapSend.
TapTapSend. Send more, spend less.